Daisy's journey began in the most unexpected of places. She was once a cherished pet, but life took a turn, and she found herself alone. Her story is one of resilience, hope, and the will to survive. In the quiet outskirts of a small town, a narrow dirt road led to an old forgotten farmhouse. It had been years since anyone had lived there, but recently a new tenant had taken residence, not a human, but a dog. She was a medium-sized Labrador mix, her fur matted and her eyes filled with sorrow. Her ribs showed through her thin coat, a testament to the hardships she had endured. Her name was Daisy. Daisy had been abandoned months ago, left to fend for herself in the wilderness surrounding the farmhouse. At first she wandered the area, hoping her owners would return. They never did. She scavenged what she could, but food was scarce, and the nights were cold and unforgiving. Despite the hardships, Daisy had a reason to keep going. Hidden in a small hollow under the farmhouse's front porch were 5 tiny puppies, only a few weeks old. Daisy had given birth to them in solitude, nurturing them with every bit of strength she could muster. She would spend her days hunting for scraps and nights keeping them warm, all while battling hunger and exhaustion. One day, as Daisy searched near the edge of the forest, she stumbled upon a group of campers. Their fire crackled in the twilight, and the smell of food wafted through the air. Desperate, Daisy approached cautiously, her body low to the ground, tail tucked between her legs. She whimpered softly, her eyes pleading for help. The campers noticed her, and one of them, a young woman named Sarah, felt a pang of empathy. Sarah! Hey, look at her! She looks so hungry. Poor thing. Sarah tore off a piece of her sandwich and held it out to Daisy, who hesitated for a moment before inching closer. She quickly snatched the food and backed away, eating it as if it was her first meal in days. Sarah could see the desperation in Daisy's eyes and knew this dog was more than just hungry. She was in need. Daisy wasn't just begging for food, she was begging for her puppies. The campers followed her as she trotted back to the farmhouse, leading them to the hollow under the porch. Sarah knelt down and peered inside. Her heart broke at the sight. 5 little puppies, barely able to open their eyes, huddled together in the dirt. Sarah, oh my God, she's been taking care of them all on her own. The campers quickly sprang into action, gathering the puppies gently and wrapping them in blankets. Daisy stayed close, watching their every move, her eyes never leaving her babies. They brought the small family back to their campsite, providing them with warmth, food, and much-needed attention. Sarah contacted a local animal rescue, explaining the situation. Within an hour, a volunteer arrived with supplies in a van to transport Daisy and her puppies to safety. The rescue worker, an elderly woman named Margaret, knelt beside Daisy and gently stroked her head. "Margaret, you're such a good mother. You've done so well." Daisy seemed to understand. She nuzzled Margaret's hand, a gesture of trust and gratitude. The campers helped load the family into the van, and as they drove away, Daisy curled up around her puppies, finally able to rest without worry. At the rescue center, Daisy and her puppies were given medical attention and plenty of food. The staff marveled at Daisy's resilience and devotion. Despite her suffering, she had kept her puppies alive, protecting them against all odds. Her story spread through the town, touching the hearts of many. A few weeks later, Sarah visited the rescue center. She had thought about Daisy and her puppies every day since that night. When she walked into the kennel, Daisy's ears perked up and her tail wagged faintly. Sarah knelt down and whispered, "Sarah, remember me?" Daisy approached cautiously, then licked Sarah's hand. It was clear she remembered the kind stranger who had helped save her family. Sarah spent time with Daisy and her puppies, feeling a bond that she couldn't ignore. "Sarah, I want to adopt them. I want to give them the home they deserve," Margaret smiled, knowing Daisy and her puppies had found the perfect home. The adoption process was swift, and soon Daisy and her little ones were living with Sarah in a cozy house filled with love and warmth. Daisy's days of struggle were over. She no longer had to worry about finding food or shelter. Instead, she spent her time playing in the yard with her puppies, now thriving and full of energy. Sarah watched over them with pride, knowing she had made a difference in their lives. Daisy had begged for help, not just for herself, but for her puppies. Her unwavering love and determination had led her to Sarah, a compassionate soul who had answered her silent plea. In the end, Daisy and her family found a happy ending, proving that even in the darkest times, love and kindness can shine through.